Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Anas bin Muhammad Ramlee. Today I will present about a security overview. Okay. My part is to talk about a wireless network overview. First, wireless network provide the basic for transport between device and the conventional wired network. Wireless network make it possible to link one or even more device without they have a tree, without network, without physical link, and without a peripheral cabling. Wireless network use the propagation of a radio wave as a means of transmitting data, while wired system use cables. Wireless technology range for complex systems such as a wireless local area network (WLAN). Wireless technology also include infrared IR device such as a remote control. Okay, that's all my present. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Illal and I will talk about the overview of the wireless security. Do you ever thought that how the wireless is secure? Every day we are using the wireless connection through our laptop, smartphone, and how the wireless connection is secured? How it ensure that our data is all secure and protected? That's why we have a wireless security. Wireless security is invented to avoid unauthorized access or damage to computers using wireless networks. So it is to ensure the security and the data of the device that use the wireless network is secure. Wired equivalent privacy (WEP) is one of the least secure modes of protection. The most common types of wireless security: Wi-Fi protected access (WPA) offered a fast alternative to enhancing protection over WEP. The threat situation wireless security is only an element of computer security, while companies may be especially vulnerable to breaches of security caused by rogue access points. The mobility advantage. It is very important for organizations to identify successful wireless protection policies that prevent unauthorized access to significant resources. Wireless intrusion prevention systems (WIPS) or wireless intrusion detection systems (WIDS) are widely used to implement wireless security policies. Most of unauthorized access, such as accidental association, malicious association, ad hoc networks, non-traditional network, identity theft, man-in-the-middle attacks, denial of service, network injection, and cafe data attack. Wireless LAN security for 802.11 is better suited for home users, small networks, or low safety networks. With wireless networking implemented in business environments, companies are working to introduce security mechanisms like those of wired-based LANs. An additional component of the safety provision is the need to limit access only to legitimate users to the wireless network. Physical access to the wireless LAN is different than access to a wired LAN. Existing wired network has access points, usually RJ45 connectors, within buildings that can be protected from unauthorized access by using devices, chassis, keys, and badges. To plug a client device into a network jack, a user has to obtain physical access to the house. So that is the overview of the wireless security from me.
First of all, I'm gonna talk about 3 points. My first point is man-in-the-middle attack. The assault starts by sending a discretionary number of deauthentication outline to the casualty client with the source address and BSSID set to the AP address. The assault moreover send a discretionary numbers of deassociation outline to the casualty client. The assault at the point change the remote interface to a diverse channel. and transmit guide outlines spoofing the parameters for the focus on the fundamental benefit set. On the top of chance that the causality client was effectively authenticated, it will start checking for APIs. This man in the middle assault abuse to the frail security of the joining upon verification and affiliation protocol in 802.11 because it exists nowadays. Within the joining handle, the common criteria that client execution utilize to select which BSS to connect is control level and flag quality. The aggressor can find closer to the casualty client than the already related AP or utilize tall pickup radio wires to have the next gotten control level and flag quality at the casualty client. The assault tunes in for a verification as from the client on the unused channel, partner the casualty client on the modern channel. The SLN use a moment interface on the initial channel to the related BSS, spoofing the casualty client MAC as the source address. Parcel at the point pass from one interface on one channel to another interface on a diverse channel. The second point is malicious association. Malicious association are when the remote gadget can be effectively made by waffles to put through to a company organized through their breaking tablet rather than a company access point AP. This sort of portable workstation are known as soft APs and are made when a waffle run a few programs that produce his or her remote organized card select a genuine get to point or known as access point. Once the cell time has picked up the access, he or she can take the password, dispatch assault on a wire organization or plant trojans. Since remote system work at layer 2 level, layer 3 security such as range verification and virtual private system or known as VPN offer no obstruction. Remote 0802.11 authenticate do offer assistance with security but are still powerless to breaking. The thought behind this sort of assault may be not break into VPN or other security measures. Most likely, the Sultan is fair attempting to take over the client at the layer level 2. Lastly, my point is rogue access point. The definition of unauthorized access point is the wireless access point that are introduced without unequivocal authorization from a nearby network management. A few characteristics: the rebel get to point as Wi-Fi get to point, which is set up by aggressor for a reason of sniffing remote organized activity. In this paper, we summarize the rebel get to point as two definitions. The primary definition is rogue access point is to get point that introduced to the organized without authorization and does not take after the organization security arrangement. The moment definition is rogue access point is to get the point that's set up based on pernicious deliberate to compromise the company data framework. Information sniffing going to the rogue access point. A get point with the criteria that falls in either definition is considered to be rogue access point. Info additional point. Denial of service is a common attack to our wireless network. A refusal of benefit assault disturbed and organized by flooding the transfer speed with endless information to bring the arrange to an end. To start a DOS assault, the interloper finds a get to point on the remote organized and after send it to non-stop stream of insignificant data. The information stream overpowers to get to the point or access point, causing it to to be unusable. DOS, or known as denial of service, assault may be as modern as spoofing. In 802.11, this association administration outlined to the remote terminal, or as a basic as using an RF generator within the 2.4 GHz band to stick the RF channel. One of the shortcomings of remote range is the limited utilization of transmission capacity. The circumstances is giving awesome advantage to programmers to dispatch denial of service assault by replaying bundles in arrange to create commotion or by sending deconfirmed parcel to the authentic client with the subnet in the subnet. In the reality, typical the strategy utilized by a large group of programmers known as anonymous to bring down the government web server within the latter assault. Essentially, sticking assault might be a prevalent assault in military front line ordinarily by abusing the shortcoming of wireless sensor network, which has constrained control asset. Sticking assault can be propelled either from exterior or interior, arranged by utilizing sticking gadget to the square, the remote, medium, and anticipate remote gadget from communication with each other in order to corrupt the execution or to paralyze the organized. That's all from me.
In this modern world, network security is the critical to maintain the performance and security of the organizations. Therefore, as the academic, we must know to prevent hacker from taking any advantage. Also, as the precaution against all attacks, the issue to be addressed is the vulnerable of weaknesses of wireless security. There are many vulnerables of wireless security, including first is brute force attack. Brute force attack is the anxiety attack on the password authentication system by trying all possible combination of password. For example, we have letter A until letter Z have 26 letters and the password normally maximum 8 character. So we need to try 26 power by 1 until 26 power by 8. They have almost 5 millions. Attacker we let the computer do the works. The computer will try different combinations of password until they find the ones work. Many tools the attacker will use in brute force attacks like aircrack, John the Ripper, Lobcrack, Rainbow Crack, and also TSC Hydra tools. Here is TSC Hydra tools. TSC Hydra tools will identify the vulnerabilities in the client system. Hydra quickly run through a large number of password combinations at the simple brute force or dictionary base. It can attack more than 50 protocols and the multiple operating systems at one time. Next is dictionary attacks. Dictionary attack is the method of breaking into the password protected in any computer or server by systematically entering every word in the dictionary as a password. A dictionary attack can also be used in attempt to find the key necessary to decrypt and encrypt messages or documents. Dictionary attacks works because many computer users and businesses insist of using ordinary word as password. Example here, we have words FRI **Y. We need to know the letter after I, and in this dictionary attack, dictionary will refer on their dictionary and we view the all candidates, and the all candidate will present some matching. From that, we can get the password. This is the 1000 most common password used by user or some organizations. So we need to avoid all these passwords to prevent from hacker or dictionary attack. Next, we can also check our password that we want to create. For example, passwords. So, this warning gives your password in the top 1 most used passwords. So, as an organization, we need to create the strongest password with a uppercase, lowercase, also number and the patterns. For example, we create some passwords with lowercase, adding the number and the patterns. So number of character lengths, uppercase, lowercase, number, symbols, and it gives 100 of security for the password. Is the reconnaissance attack. Reconnaissance is the kind of attack in which attacker gather the information about the target PC. The intruder queries the live IP in the network and then for the port to determine the type and the version of the application and the operating running on the target host. The most obvious security problem with wireless LANs is also their chief feature. Data can be received by anyone who in anywhere in range of the signal. The signal passes through walls, outside building and off property boundaries. Attacker can both capture the transmit wireless signal provided they are within range. Powerful attenders allow attacker to receive the transmit to Wi-Fi packet from up to several miles away. The attacker use the reconnaissance to recover and analyze the target of his attack. During this analysis, he tries to determine what protocol and the security mechanism are being used so that he can choose which tools are used to attack them. The tools are being used for the reconnaissance attack is the Trojans, phishing, spamming, social networks, and the malicious mails. So after analysis the networks, the attacker will determine the tools is suitable for attack to the target PC. Next is the worshipping attacks. Worshipping is the type of cyber attack which criminals use a physical package shipping service to send malicious hardware to a victim to hide malicious hardware on the business premise. This hardware can be remotely controlled by the attacker and used as the staging post for the further attack. The more efficient method of attacking Wi-Fi network is allow attacker to be conducted remotely, even if the attacker is not within the range of the Wi-Fi networks. The device can be used to locally connect to Wi-Fi network and send information back to attacker via the 3G cellular information. So, this is the hardware attacker use for worshipping. This is the Raspberry Pi Zero W, small battery, and the cellular modem. The price for all this hardware is less than $100. While en route, the worshipping pick up all the networks around and it has right on the truck. It even pick up the flight Wi-Fi on aircraft in some cases. The hack in the box can do more than just sniff for networks. So, if if we have a company or organization, we need to start considering package untrusted in the some way that will consider email or USB key. If your eye on the Amazon box arrive at the office a little more suspicious than will mission accomplished, that means that is the worshipping.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. My name is Zulhairi Aizad. So here I want to talk about threats and vulnerabilities of wireless system. So first of all, what is threats and vulnerabilities? Threats is anything that can exploit a vulnerability intentionally or accidentally and obtain damage or destroy an asset. A threat is what we are trying to protect against. So what is vulnerability? Vulnerability is weaknesses or gaps in the security programs that can be exploited by threats to gain unauthorized access to an asset. Okay, so here are a few examples of threats and vulnerabilities of wireless system. So for me, I need to find 4, which are all of these that have been listed, which are passive capturing, identity theft and biochemical spoofing, network injection, and key failure attack. So here, what is passive capturing? Passive capturing is a network attack in which a system is monitored and sometimes scanned for open ports and vulnerabilities. The purpose is solely to gain information about the target and the data exchange on target. So here we can see that this passive capturing is like to take the data and not to change it. Okay, so we move to the second threats and vulnerabilities. Identity theft. What is identity theft? Identity theft occurs when someone uses another's personally identifying information like their name, identifying number, or credit card number without their permission to commit fraud or other crimes. So here we focus on MAC spoofing, identity theft, but using MAC spoofing. What is MAC spoofing? MAC spoofing is a technique for changing a factory assigned MAC address of a network interface on a network device. The MAC address that is hard-coded on an NIC cannot be changed. However, many drivers allow the MAC address to be changed. Additionally, there are tools which can make operating system believe that the NIC has the MAC address of a user's choosing. The process of masking a MAC address is known as MAC spoofing. Essentially, MAC spoofing entails changing a operator's identity for any reason, and it is relatively easy. So from here, it can be a threat, because it can also changing a computer's identity. So if a user chooses to spoof their MAC address in order to protect the user's privacy, this is called identity masking. So from here, as you can see, network traffic is interpreted by an attacker and the MAC address of the device which correct privilege is established. So what we call it, this identity theft MAC spoofing can change their computer's identity easily if they have a right to. Okay, so we go to the third threat and vulnerabilities, which is network injection. So what is network injection? The network injection attack make use of AP, which is access points that are exposed to non-filtered network traffic, specifically broadcasting network. It injects bogus networking reconfiguration commands that affect routers, switches, and intelligent hubs. A whole network can be brought down in this manner and require rebooting or even reprogramming of all intelligent networking devices. So from this you can see what is the main function of the network injection. It makes whole network down because it have been injured by bogus networking reconfiguration command. Okay, so we move to the last vulnerabilities and threats, which is cafe latte attack. First of all, what is cafe latte attack? A cafe latte attack is a WEP attack that allows a hacker to retrieve the WEP key of the authorized network using just the client. The attack does not require the client be anywhere close to the authorized WEP network. It can crack the WEP key using just the isolated network. It makes the intruder easier. Okay, once the client connects to the fake AP, it will send out the HTTP request. The HTTP will sign out eventually. Auto reconfiguration IP address will be kicked in. Client will send a malicious ARP packet. So here, every spoof association gives us encrypted data packet, either DHCP or ARP. Set a process repeat, keep collecting the trace. Timelines for cracking the AP for various network configuration assuming hierarchy packet. So cafe latte attack. Target the Windows wireless attack. Possible to obtain the WEP key from a remote client. Send flood of encrypted ARP requests. Attacker can obtain the WEP key within a minute. So I think that's all for me. These are all threats and vulnerabilities that we must avoid when using wireless system, but it depends on our use. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syahwan Aizat bin Nasir, and now I want to present about how to protect a wireless network from threat and vulnerabilities. First is a signal hiding technique. Signal hiding techniques is to intercept the wireless transmission. The attackers first need to identify wireless networks and locate them. However, there are a range of steps that organization or person can take to make their wireless access points more difficult to locate. And then the simplest and least expensive are turning off the service set identifier, SSID transmitting via a wireless access point, assigning cryptic names to SSID, using a signal intensity to the lowest level that still provides sufficient coverage, or locating a wireless access points within the house away from windows from windows or outside walls. Second list is encryption. The best way to secure the confidentiality of transmitted information over wireless network is to encrypt all wireless data. This is particularly important for regulated organizations. Thirdly is a captive portal. Captive portal is a kind of form of authentication used to access a network for visitors. It is commonly used in public networks like hotels, convention centers, cafes, or others. Using this form, users can automatically redirect themselves to the login lab. If the credentials of the user have been checked, the user will then be able to access the network successfully. This authentication for the response challenge is encrypted using SSL to prevent a hacker from sniffing credentials from the user. Fourthly is a countermeasure to reduce a denial of service attack. Wireless networking is also vulnerable to attacks by denial of service (DOS). Organizations can take numerous steps to mitigate the threat of this unintended DOS attack. Mindful site service may identify sites where there are signals from other devices. The result of this service can be used when determining where wireless access points should be placed. Daily periodic reviews of wireless networking operation and performance may detect problem areas. Effective remedial steps may include relocation of defective devices or initiative to improve wireless signals and availability within the area of concerns. And fifth is securing the wireless access points. Unstable wireless access points which are improperly designed can violate anonymity by enabling unintentional access to the network. Through taking these three steps, organizations will reduce the possibility of unauthorized access to wireless networks. First is removing the rogue access points, and then configuring all approved access points appropriately, and lastly, all apps are encrypted using 802.1x.
Okay, next I will continue how to protect wireless network from threat and vulnerabilities. We can use virtual private network (VPN). VPN can be a great security mechanism for providing reliable coverage through any internet service and end-to-end encryption on wireless network. In addition, large companies may gain from using a VPN to protect data that is transmitted to wireless local area network. Home or office associate without having to depend on a business associate to protect their share. Okay, many companies use VPN for staff to access their resource outside of their local area network because to protect their data. Staff can use VPN-enabled device to connect to corporate network using a protected tunneling protocol like IPsec or SSL. In addition, a VPN may be helpful in protecting traffic or information that is sent by devices such as smartphone that often travel between wireless and wired network. So the most important, when staff connected to the public wireless, they will use the VPN to access the company resource. Okay, next, using spyware and antivirus tool and firewall. Device on wireless network must have the same security as internet connected devices. Download and upgrade antivirus and anti-spyware application. If you deliver the firewall in off mode, switching it on. Unless you don't have antivirus software installed, this will automatically you in trouble using. because if we doesn't have the firewall or antivirus, it will make our devices vulnerability to the hacker to attacks and steal our data. It switch off your wireless network when you know that you will not be using it. Upon shutdown, attackers couldn't access a wireless network if you turn off from the router or devices when you are not using it. You restrict the time it is responsive to a hack. So when you not use your wireless network, you can off the wireless network to prevent hacker access your data. Enable access to wireless network only through unique devices. Any device that can connect with a network is given its own unique address. That is media access control or MAC address. Wireless network typically have a functionality which allow network access only to devices with unique MAC address. Those attacker provide MAC address imitated, so do not depend on diff move solely. Okay, we can configure the router, the wireless router, to make sure only specific MAC address can access the wireless network. But this technique is not 100% safe because attacker can spoof our MAC address to access the wireless network. And lastly, turn off broadcast identifier. Several wireless modem have a feature called transmitting identifier. It carries out such a signal to every computer advertising its existence in the surrounding. If the user that uses the network actually realize it's in there, you doesn't have to transmit this information. On insecure wireless network, hacker may use recognition transmission to home in, since your wireless router make this disable the transmitting function of the identifier. And lastly, keep your security technology tools up to date. Antivirus, anti-malware and anti-spyware system require periodic updates to the database and certification. Absent such vital update, the program cannot defend computer against the current threats. Computer user need to stay up to date with their application. So the user need to update regularly their antivirus to make sure it update the database and certification, because nowadays there are many new virus or worms and can be a ransomware. Both consumer must take steps to avoid the revocation of license while ensuring their software stay up to date and helping to provide protection against all current threats. That's all from me, and this is three references that we use to find the information about how to protect the wireless network from threat and vulnerability. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, to wrap it up, we know that most people in the world use a wireless network. With wireless local area networks becoming an integral part of business level networks, it is critical that the wireless components of the network are as safe as the wired network. Although early deployment of wireless LANs for reliability has not been perfected, specifications and methods are emerging to secure enterprise-capable wireless LANs for 2G broadband. For 802.11 protocols, there are now good options for encryption and authentication. Such new security measures must be implemented to ensure wireless network information is safe. Through careful preparation and due diligence, a wireless network can be as efficient as a wired network. Human factors as technical factors are equally important in ensuring wireless security. So that's all from us for our video presentation for this chapter, wireless security. Thanks for watching.